Hey there, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Umi.
And welcome to the Roundtable.
This is a space dedicated to young women of the Pacific who are trying to figure out life just like we are.
And we are going to ask questions that you've always wanted to ask to a new guest every episode and lift the veil on unspoken topics.
We talk about everything from personal image and relationships to everything in between. Come and join us. Ale Yumi Storian.
This project is made possible with the support of the We Rise Coalition and PACMAS. Our topic today is about embracing our natural beauty and the impacts of Western influence. So for those listening, we are recording from Vanuatu in the South Pacific, made up of 83 islands, and we are colonized by the British and French, who have had a major Western influence in Melanesia.
This discussion will be based on how much we are influenced by Western culture and how we can begin to embrace natural Melanesian beauty and appreciate how unique our features are and where we come from.
And what we mean by natural beauty is our hair, skin tone, the size and structure of our bodies, and every other little unique features that we possess.
So we have here today with us Irene Marie Abbock. She is from Paama Island and Nguna Island. She is a year 13 graduate from Malapa College, and she is now working here at Sista as the program and finance manager. We chose her for this particular topic because we believe she is a Melanesian woman who flaunts her Melanesian features proudly.
Thank you, Irene, for joining us.
So, Irene, we're just gonna get straight into it. Have you ever felt, maybe even without knowing, that you have been swayed to, say, present yourself in a particular way, maybe to like fit in with a certain group of people?
I guess as you go and as you grow, you developed mentally and physically, and also the environment that you're in. So I change every now and then when I'm moving and navigating between different people and different environments. But one thing that I remain the same is the way that I present myself to people. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question correctly.
No, you're kind of answering it in a way. So I guess what you're saying is you adapt to your environment. Yeah, I can totally relate to you on that.
All right, so Irene, so I'm not sure about your experience, but I know the influence of the Western culture has also impacted the generations before us. And I remember my mother straightening my hair with Africa's Best when I was 9, and I look back now and I remember feeling that I was not myself. Have you ever felt uncomfortable with the way you looked and felt the need to change it?
Yes, and to add to that, it started when I hit high school, my teen days, where I started to add all these types of product on my skin, on my hair. Instead of actually focusing on my studies, I feel that the look and to gain some sort of respect and visibility in a certain group in school, that's my entry point, was to change the way I look. And so I did straighten my hair, and I damaged it badly, and I regret it so much after year 13. I had this thing where I shaved my arm, all the hairs out of my arm, just because I feel that it makes my skin look smoother, it makes my skin look lighter because of the hair there, makes my skin look darker, and all of that is some sort of influence from both the movies that I watch, especially inspired by American movies in particular, and so when I see the reaction of the public or the students and around my my school back in the days, I'm not sure if the reaction was positive, but to me it's some sort of visibility to say that, oh my God, I'm different, but not really in saying that in particular. No, I'm just trying to fit in. And so I had to do what I had to do then. Another thing is also my teeth. I have a gap in front of my front teeth, and that was one thing that I started to create the habit of not smiling and showing my teeth in front of the camera, because I don't think that was cool. And I feel that all straight teeth, no gaps was the thing back then in the early 2000s. But yeah, come today's world now that people back in overseas, I guess they can speak for themselves then, but they get operations done to have these gap teeth. And yeah, that's one thing that if someone had told me then that, you're beautiful the way you are, and that you're unique, that would have exactly, yeah. Right. That would be my confidence then.
That's so nice. And I actually...
What about you, Sharon? Yeah, really, I'm wondering now, because that was interesting hearing what you said about your mom straightening your hair when you were 9. So like in high school, like how did you present yourself? And was any of it an attempt at what Irene was saying, like presenting herself in a certain way?
Yeah, I've gone through the same experience as well. I've had, like, my mom would always want me to straighten my hair. It feels good, but now I'm also trying to, encourage you loving my natural hair as well, like now.
I mean, even if to relax it, the maintenance of having to go through and the expense wise is another story in itself. And to put yourself into that emotional toll, looking at yourself in the morning in front of the mirror and you're like, oh, I don't have this hair cream, I don't have that, I need to go and buy the product again. And oh my God, my natural hair roots are growing out. It's more damage done than actually.
I've seen more girls. I've seen so many girls in high school having like their hair breaking off because of Africa's Best. Even some going to the point where they would grow their natural hair out again, only to do it again. But I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, even I have. For those who are listening and don't know, I'm Polynesian. I have Polynesian hair, but even I wanted to straighten it at one point. I wanted my hair to be straight as well. Because watching movies, you see how those girls just like brush their hair through their fingers through their hair. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that either. So I wanted to straighten it.
I've actually had one experience where I've used the Africa's Best. I've used it and I've had like hair breakage, and I'm thankful for that because now I am embracing my natural hair and I love it the way it is, and I love to tie it up or put it down and put it on braids and stuff. So
your hair is beautiful.
And I think one thing in terms of styles, when you straighten your hair, it becomes a standard 1-way or 2, 3-way max kind of style, and that would fit with what you see in front of you in television. To have this smooth bun or to have that line in between half of your head and just, I don't know what you call it. But when you have natural hair, there is no limit to what styles you can come up and be creative with it, and that's the thing that we do not see or distinguish in between, because so when you have a straightened hair that you relax it with some sort of product, it actually limits the creative styles that you can wear with your hair.
That's interesting. It's actually surprising how much of a discussion came out with just hair. So now I'd like to move on to, say, skin tone. Like, a lot of people here in Vanuatu, and I'm sure in other Melanesian countries as well, and I am not in any way saying dark skin is not beautiful, because it is. But from growing up here, what I noticed is lighter skinned people were deemed more beautiful. They were favored because of the color of their skin over darker skinned ones, like siblings, for example. So I just want to know what your opinions are on that.
I cannot agree with you more. And we've come to a point now where we can laugh about it as a family in my household. Where the eldest is lighter, and there's me, the little dark duck there, and then you have my younger sister she's more fair, and so So we can go like abe heme mi black we ame hem no mi skin mi no black to masim you so sorry mi ba mi yeah, and then we tease each other that you in the future you're gonna be with this man because he's that black, so you both match.
Yeah, and probably that whole I'm better than you.
I've had the same experience with my siblings as well.
Yeah, and so now we can laugh about it, but back then when I was also, hitting my teen and my adolescent days, when I was going through that whole, experiencing about my physical, my physical, appearance and my growth, mentally also, I had to really at one point put myself. I lost myself in between. I did not know who I was, but I know what I want, and that is not to feel like I'm that black.
I actually wanted to add on to that as well, how you were talking about your siblings with different skin tones. I experienced that as well. And the thing that gets me is I am light skinned and I'm also from Paama. And I know where I come from and my village and all my relatives. But then, I get people approaching me and saying, hey, you light skinned Tomas. Are you really from that place? And I think that is part of me wanting to change the way I look or how I speak or how I appear, my appearance to people, because I feel like me no one man place because you tell me that I am like that. But also part of it is I am embracing it as well. I know how to I know little bits of my language. I know the custom, the culture, and the tradition. It's just these little things, how people approach me and tell me that I think you're a bit too light for, to be...
It's they favor you for being light-skinned, but at the same time, they're yeah, but you're not really one of us.
Yeah.
Because, we're black and you're not.
But also, even though that happens, I always encourage myself to love, to love myself, to embrace my my skin tone, my hair, and how I look and all that. So
and when we do go to the beach and we swim in the ocean, we come out darker.
True.
So our skin tone varies either ways. You're not light forever, and this is the thing. And when I have that tan there, I actually admire it. Whereas. And I looked at that tan, I'm like, that's a different kind of black, and I'm loving that look. I look solid, I'm shining. So, so there you go.
I actually love that. I love seeing my Ni-Van girlfriends whenever they've gone to the beach and come back and their skin's darker. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden they just showed up with a different skin, I'm sorry, I get excited because I have a lot of friends who go to the beach and get tan.
Okay, Irene, what is one trait or feature that you love about yourself?
One trait that I really do start to embrace about myself, growing up now, hitting my early 30s, is my teeth, okay? So I have this gap in front of my teeth, and growing up was not easy because I get teased a lot about it. And when I get teased about it, people try to, especially around my family, people try to relate me back to the island where I come from, which is Paama, that is known to be the rat island or island Rat. And rat have big teeth.
They have big front teeth.
Front teeth. And so... Yes, at first I had all these mixed emotions, whether I'm not sure how I feel about it, but coming from my uncles and my cousins, we have good laughs. But as soon as I start going to school and meeting all these other students from different islands, and I get teased from where I'm from, and they're from different islands, and to say that is the way I look, it's a bit discriminating, and I feel shameful about it. So then after understanding that Vanuatu in itself, we are known as one of the most happiest country on earth, or the third ranked, is because of our smiles. Everywhere you go, you'll see a Ni-Van out there smiling, and yes, I take everything back. I really do am proud of how I look and my teeth, to say the least, because now that with this trendy world that we are in, we have people out there overseas that are dying and would spend millions of dollars to actually get gaps in front of their teeth. And so, yes.
On that note, that brings me to our next point, which is facial features, Melanesian facial features. You know, what you said about people getting surgeries done to have a gap to teeth. There's white girls getting shots in their lips to make them more plump. Yet, Melanesian girls sometimes have a hard time embracing their features. When you look at on social media, these white women are trying to look like you. They're trying to get plumper lips, a bigger butt, thicker eyebrows, you know, higher cheekbones. So what are your thoughts on this?
I would say that it's all a concept of psychological, like how we frame and how we envision ourselves to be, and a human nature where if you see one starts to react or, you know, their appearance being said this way and how they want to be, then the rest of the world follows. But that would have to be from America, and then the chain starts to follow downwards to the third world country. But here we are, all with our natural beauty. We have all of that, and we don't need the first world country to establish that it is beautiful. We need to accept ourselves, and that is what I am finding now in my 30s, and having a daughter too, and seeing her beauty, and she's pretty much a mimic of myself too, very close to my features. And I look at her and I'm like, you are so beautiful.
Aww.
And wow, and that is breathless. That is a whole. There's a whole thing of, you know, to itself, and for that I'm so grateful because I found that.
You know, we're talking about this and I'm already like having a good feeling about this, how we're talking about embracing your natural beauty, especially for like Melanesian women. I know we struggle a lot to like, you know, love ourselves.
I really honestly do not think a lot of, especially Ni-Vanuatu girls, I do not think they know just how beautiful they are. I admire so many, but then when we get to talking, you start to realize like, no, they don't see what I see. They actually don't see it.
Yeah.
And it sometimes makes me sad. I even get emotional. I have this friend. She comes over to my house a lot for hangouts, and she always tells me I'm beautiful, but every time I say it back to her, it almost like she crawls into a shell, you know? She really does not think. She thinks I'm just saying it to be nice. And it made me sad because I really wish that she knew that Afro girl, it's fire. That cheekbones you have, that jawline, your nose, your eyes, you are so beautiful. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. That really touched my heart.
And one thing is to have our, you know, our other one talks like PNG and Fiji, you know, the more that we start to embrace that the Melanesian brotherhood, sisterhood, and seeing their beauty and reflecting it on ours, we feel belong, and we feel more, we feel the ownership of this beautiness. Yeah.
So Irene, I'm interested to know, what part of your face did you used to not like before, maybe in your teens, that you have learned to embrace?
Oh my God,
now?
yeah. Let me jump into that. My eyebrows.
Girl.
Yeah, I used to. Thank you. Well, now I do, but back then I would block everything out until I have just one strain of line. Yeah,
just a line
strain
there.
Of line,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
when it starts to grow back, then yeah, it's like a plucking out a chicken feather, and it's I don't know what was I thinking then.
And why do you think you did that? Like, why do you think you had thick eyebrows, and instead of just maybe embracing the shape of it or plucking a little bit, why do you think you went so hard out that you took all of them out?
Because one, technically I do not know how to use the eyebrow blocker. finding that mechanism in between, how to do that, and in a timely manner before my dad starts the vehicle, the truck, to take me to school is another story. But so if I find myself when I ruin it, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna take everything out, and then I start getting used to that look without actually looking at what I want. I envision myself to look, and that's an emotional roller coaster in itself.
And were other girls in school, did they have like super thin eyebrows as well?
We have different groups of girls. So iconically, the church girls would not give two thoughts about it. But then you have the other girls that, these girls that are more into sassiness, and they blend in with the LGBTQ, and I'm in between. And so, yeah, I navigate from left to right every now and then. But when I go to the right, the girls that are more into fashion, they would give me all these compliments like, girl, you need to, get some eye penciler and darken that because it doesn't look good. I'm not sure what look you're trying to get out here. So yes.
Thank you, Irene. So this is the last question that we would like to ask you. I'm pretty sure you've sort of answered it already, but in a nutshell, how did you manage your journey? How did you manage to realize and embrace your natural features? And what advice would you give other young women and girls in the Pacific about, appreciating and owning their own unique beauties?
When I started to have a serious relationship with this boy after year 13, he took my hand and walked me through it. And that's when I started to calm down. He did not care about anything about my hair or my brows or whatever. And all he cared about is nurturing the love and the relationship that we had. And so, and that's when I did the big chop in my hair and my natural hair started to grow back again. And I was feeling that maybe it's just experiencing all these, the peer pressure that I have around me, my hormones, and trying to we're still figuring things out as we go in life, but I was figuring a lot out back then too. And so when my natural hair started to grow back, everything started to flow. I started to find myself and I started to feel pretty. Then naturally I started to look pretty.
That's so beautiful. I actually just want to throw this in there, and I think maybe we should settle this because I know this has been happening a lot. So every time I hang out with my friends and then we start complimenting each other, one of us is either going to say, me not like it about me, or I don't think this is nice, or like, girl, you have to stop that. You have to love yourself, okay? Like, if I say that you look beautiful, you have to see yourself in like what I see, I think I just wanted to say this because I know a lot of girls are going to listen to this, our Melanesian sisters, our Polynesian sisters. If you get a compliment from somebody, appreciate it, appreciate yourself, actually be thankful that actually someone is looking at you and is seeing that beautiful feature, that beautiful part of you that you can't see. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Keep embracing yourself, ladies. Love yourself. And thank you so much, Irene.
Honestly, powerful talk, Sharon. I'll give you that. It started off with a mind concept, and that's where I also figure out for myself. I connected my mind, my heart, and I was like, I am beautiful. I am beautiful in every way, in every form, and that God and the universe itself has blessed me with. And then that transition of energy just flows. And every day, the food I consume, I drink a lot of water too. That supplement in itself was what I needed, and to make all these changes physically happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Irene. So guys, to summarize the topic we've just discussed today, it's very clear that embracing one's natural beauty is quite a journey and is not so easy, especially if you are Melanesian, because, the outside world is so big and Melanesia is small. So whatever is trending and whatever is beautiful, that's how we will all feel like, oh, that looks better, this looks better. But it is time for us to start looking at ourselves. Put that phone down. Don't listen to whoever, to your friends at school. Don't listen to the haters. You are beautiful. That round nose, that wide nose, that C4 textured hair, that black skin.
That plump lip.
Yes, those
Space
gap
teeth.
teeth.
Yes.
It is all beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Irene. And before we close this off, I would just like to ask you guys listening in to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and our TikTok at Sista_Vanuatu, as well as on our website, sista.com.vu.
Also, by following our website, you can also listen to more Roundtable podcasts that are already on there, including the upcoming episodes. This is Sharon.
And I'm Umi.
From the Roundtable.
Alelukimyu.